Good morning, Wooden Middle School. I hope you guys are finding it easy to get back into the swing of things um, from fall break. And I hope everybody had a really great fall break. So today, we are going to talk about how to resolve conflict. Now, conflict is a part of life. It happens, and it can either be handled in a positive way and get positive results, or it can be not handled so great and it just blows up into something even more. So I do think it's important just to understand that conflict is just a part of life, especially in middle school. So it may be a disagreement with a friend, it may be some kind of misunderstanding in a class, or it might be something coming from something that's been on social media, but conflicts happen. So today we are going to learn how to handle conflict in a positive way. So first, what is conflict? Conflict is when someone is disagreeing with someone. They may have different opinions or wants or needs that just clash with each other. And it could be something small, from arguing over a spot in the lunch line or at a table at lunch, to a falling out with a friend. And no matter which kind of conflict or where on that spectrum it is, conflict is oftentimes hard to manage and hard to know how to handle. So that's why I think it's important for us to talk about it today. So, one, it's totally normal, but the important thing is conflict does not have to lead to drama or hurt feelings if we know how to handle it. And I think the important part to that is we have a choice in how we handle it. And a big part of choosing how to handle this and how to handle it where no one gets hurt feelings and it doesn't end up into this big drama um, is knowing how to handle our emotions and handling them wisely and maturely, and how to control our tongue so that we don't get carried away and saying things that we might regret later. So, conflict resolution is important because if you know how to handle conflict, that is actually going to be a way to strengthen some of your relationships. Sometimes when we have difference of opinions or a misunderstanding and we're able to talk it out in a healthy way, sometimes it just actually makes a relationship just a little bit stronger. We learn more about each other in those moments. So let's get into some important steps on how to handle conflict in a healthy way. The first step is to just stay calm, to breathe. I think sometimes the biggest mistake that we make when we're in a conflict is we feel like we have to respond and react right away. But the reality is, it is super important to stay calm, to stay quiet. Um, and for some people, it may be in their head counting to 10 backwards before they respond to this disagreement. For other people, you have to know yourself and know how your emotions range in intensity during moments like this. But for some people, they may need to just try to communicate, hey, can you give me 30 minutes and let's talk about this in about 30 minutes? And take that 30 minutes to do some deep breathing, do some things to help actually calm yourself, to bring those emotions down, and to think about, what am I going to say and what will be the best thing to say that I'm not going to regret and that is going to be respectful and kind to the other person. So the first step is to stay calm. So the second step is to listen to each other. So active listening. Um, What is active listening? It is having good eye contact with the person as they're talking to you, and as you're understanding what they're saying, kind of giving a nod every now and then or an okay, but demonstrating through body expression, nonverbal communication, that you are actively listening to what they're saying. You know, sometimes conflict is because we're being misunderstood or we are misunderstanding something. But if we just slow down and take time to actually listen to what the person is saying and then share our part, it just can make a world of difference. So, one, you want the other person to hear you and to understand you. You need to give that to that other person as well, to listen and to understand them. Now, understanding does not mean that we agree. You don't have to agree on the situation, but you do have to understand where this person is coming from and being willing to listen. So try that. Try when someone's talking to look at them, nod to show that you're listening, and don't interrupt them. Let them finish what they're saying, which sometimes can be hard, especially if we disagree with what they're saying. But hear them out, and when they are done talking, then share your side. The third step is to express your feelings. Now, this can be a little dicey and a little tricky, as sometimes if we're having a hard time handling and managing our emotions in a healthy way. But it is important in a disagreement or in a conflict to express your emotions. And we do that by using what I call I statements. And an I statement is really simple. It's saying, I feel angry or I feel hurt when I don't get a chance to share my opinion. Next time, would you just give me a moment so I could share my opinion? Would you be willing to listen to that? So, using the word I feel, when I, can we, those things make it about you, the speaker, and it's replacing the word you. If we have a conversation with someone or we're having a disagreement and we're saying, you did this, you said that, you this, that person is going to get defensive and tune you out and not going to listen to anything that you're saying because they're feeling kind of attacked. So if you switch it around and identify you and using the word I, how you feel, the speaker, that makes a world of difference. So using I statements, I feel upset when I don't get a chance to communicate my opinion. Next time, would you be willing to listen to my opinion first and then we can talk? That's using I statements. The last step in handling conflict in a healthy way is to find a solution. You and the person that you're having the conflict with, you guys brainstorm together. What is the solution? How can we prevent this from happening another time or the next time? And brainstorm together without attacking each other and come to a reasonable agreement on what the solution is. Again, this takes listening skills and giving a chance for each person to share their thoughts without being interrupted. So let's review those really quickly. First is to stay calm, taking deep breaths, whether that's counting backwards, starting from 10 backwards, and then kind of trying to dialogue about the conflict, or it's communicating, hey, I need like 30 minutes or I need an hour or whatever. And then can we come back and talk, just the two of us? Number 2 is to listen. Let the person speak without being interrupted and then share your opinion. 3, express your feelings in a respectful way using I statements. And the fourth thing, come to an agreement on what the solution is. Now, I think a lot of times what happens here at school when there's a conflict is everybody's friends and friend group wants to get involved and give their opinion or say, I heard her say this or I heard him say that. And that is not necessary, and it's not going to help a conflict to get resolved. So, my big thing about handling conflict is the golden rule to me is if you have an issue with someone, you need to go one on one with that person, go to them, just you and that person to talk, no one else around, just the two of you to talk out the situation. And if it still cannot get resolved, then come and get me or one of the guidance counselors. And, you, me, and that other person, we can sit in my office and we can talk it out. Nobody would be in trouble. It would just be us talking out the situation so that everybody's getting heard and we come to a reasonable solution. And then it's over. And from that point forward, it means not talking to other people about the person and the situation and just letting it be done and over. Too many times people are bringing their friends into the mix, and that just makes it a bigger drama and a bigger conflict. So use these 4 steps, stay calm, listen, express your feelings, and come to a solution. And if need be, feel free. Ask me to help you out, and I will, no problem. But relationships are important, so it's super important to know how to handle conflict in a healthy way. I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions or need any assistance, feel free to reach out to me, email me, or swing by the office. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.